Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Pray you're doing well, as you do. And welcome to the Bible, block by block. Today is day 69. For day 69, we're going to be reading Israel and Jacob. That is Genesis 47, verse 27, all the way to Genesis 48. Let us begin. Joseph vowed to Jacob. So Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen. And they had possession there and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 7 years. So the length of Jacob's life was 147 years. When the time drew near that Israel must die, he called his son Joseph and said to him, Now if I have found favor in your sight, please put your hand under my tithe, and deal kindly and truly with me. Please do not bury me in Egypt, but let me lie with my fathers. You shall carry me out of Egypt and bury me in the burial place. And he said, I will do as you have said. Then Joseph said, Swear to me. And he swore to him. So Israel bowed himself on the head to the bed. Now let's go for a little bit of a historical fact before we keep moving on. Egypt's 7 lean years. Pharaoh's dream involved 7 fat cows and 7 plump head of grain, which were devoured by 7 ugly cows and 7 thin head, which specifically, in Joseph's interpretation, the ugly cow and thin head symbolize 7 years of famine. The record of the 7 lean years in Egypt appear to have an antecedent in Egypt literature. I mean, if you look at Egypt history, they actually have those facts. As I said before, if you do your own research, the only problem people had back then is that they go from the wrong dynasty, the wrong time, at the wrong king. And if you go to the king that we were talking about earlier, you're gonna find all of that Joseph did in Egypt. He's a real character, and he did all the stuff that he did. And we already read about Egyptians trying to explain it out. Anyway, the text called the tradition of the 7 lean years in Egypt is attributed to Josiah, a pharaoh on the 3rd dynasty of Egypt, Old Kingdom, 2650 BC. The text of this Egyptian story, as it is now exists, comes from a scribe during the reign of Ptolemy V, 204 to 180 BC, a ruler of Macedonian dynasty established by the successors of Alexander the Great. While this text is much later than the account in Genesis, it is possible that it had been copied from an earlier text. The Egyptian text recounts a letter that Josiah wrote to his overseer in Elftania in Sosef, Egypt, lamenting the fact that the Nile has not come in many times in space of 7 years. Consequently, grain was scarce, food was dry up, and every man robbed his companion. Wait, I think I read that one before. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Imhotep, the renewal vizier of chief ministry to Josiah, proceeded to tell him about the god Num. Yeah, I read that before. Who resides at the birthplace of the Nile, namely Eftanim. Pharaoh Joseph has a dream in which the god tells him that the Nile will soon pour forth for you. Thus, plant will again grow, and salvation will cease. The Pharaoh woke refreshed and presently then draft the text of his officials in Eftami. You guys can put it down below if I read that one already, because it seems familiar. Maybe I read it by myself and thought I read it for you guys, but that sounds familiar to me. Anyway, let's continue to the Bible now. Chapter 48. Jacob blessed Joseph's son. Now it came to pass, after these things, that Joseph was told, Indeed, your father is sick. And he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And Jacob was told, Look, your son Joseph is coming to you. And Israel strengthened himself and sat up on the bed. Then Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz, in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said to me, Behold, I will make you fruitful and multiply you, and I will make you a multitude of people, and give this land to your descendants after you as an everlasting possession. The land of Luz is what people are fighting against Israel right now, Palestine. That's it. Yeah. And now your two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. Your offspring, whom you beget after them, shall be yours. They will be called by the name of their brothers in their inheritance. So yeah, your kid is my kid now. But as for me, where I came from, Padam, Rachel died beside me in the land of Canaan on the way, when there was but a little distance to go to Ephrat, and I buried her on the way to Ephrat, that is Bethlehem. Bethlehem nowadays. Then Israel saw Joseph's sons and said, Who are these? Joseph said to his father, They are my sons, whom God has given me in this place. And he said, Please bring them to me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim with age, so that he could not see. Then Joseph brought them near him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said to Joseph, I had not thought to see your face, but in fact, God has also shown me your offspring. God is good always. So Israel brought them, it's actually a blessing we have in Haiti. Said, if you see your third to fourth generation, you are blessed beyond measure. Yeah. So Joseph brought them from beside his knee, and he bowed down with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim with his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh with his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near him. Then Israel stretched out his right hand and laid on Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, guiding his hand knowingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn, and he blessed Joseph and said, Pay attention to the blessing, guys. And we'll talk about how they're going to be enslaved for 400 years before Moses comes and everything. That's a prophecy right there. God before whom my father Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who had fed me all my life long to this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all the evil, bless the Lord. Let my name be named upon them, and the name of my father Abraham and Isaac, and let them go in the multitudes. Oh, that's the other blessing. Sorry, I got the one blessing. I talk about the father. But yeah. Let my name be upon them, and the name of the fathers Abraham and Isaac. Let them go into a multitude of the midst of the earth. Now Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand on the head of Ephraim, and it displeased him. So he took on his hold of his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. And Joseph said to his father, Not so, my father, for this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly, this younger brother shall be greater than he, and his descendant shall become a multitude of nations. So he blessed them that day, saying, By you Israel will bless, saying, May God make you as Ephraim and as Manasseh. Thus he set Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said to Joseph, Behold, I am dying, but God will be with you and bring you back to the land of my father. Moreover, I have given you one portion above your brothers, which I took from the hand of the Amorite, with my sword and my bow. The end for now, guys. The end. Thank you for being here, guys. And you know what? Before I end it, I'm gonna do something special for you guys. I'm gonna do a little politics and government reading. The Egyptians maintained large stone storehouse, primarily for grain. This protect them from famine and also help stabilize prices. Nairis were often associated with temples. The ruler was regarded as divine. And the party devoted to grain was one of the most important things in the fundamental religion government of Egypt. You know, one of the main difference about the Abrahamic God and all the other religion out there is that nobody is made in the image of God. If anybody might be a descendant of the gods, it's the kings. But for us Christians and Jews, God said He'd make us in His image, whether poor or rich. That's one of the men. We do this a long time, guys. So there's a lot of difference between the Jew religion and all the other religion out there. But that's one of them. All right. I hope that helped. See you guys tomorrow. Goodbye. Pray for me.